It's the Joel Shit Show, featuring Joel Shit. Hi, welcome to the Joel Shit Show. I'm your host, Joel Shit. So we are in the heat wave. It is in the 90s again. I'm not thrilled about it. But we don't have any humidity, so I guess I'm really not at liberty to complain. So yesterday, I did my shift at Yahoo, and then I drove to work at Stanford. I didn't have to work at Stanford, but it was air-conditioned there. And it's right next to where I play hockey. So I was like, oh, what the hell? So I went, and I priced a bunch of cards and checked out my cards, and I just relaxed in the air conditioning. I was going to break open a second case of Allen & Ginter, but I didn't have time because I had to go to hockey. So I loaded all 4 cases of Allen & Ginter and the broken case of Allen & Ginter, because I've had 5 so far, into my car and drove to hockey. Between that and my hockey gear, my car was full. So, first game was black versus white. And if black did not win, then my team, red, the Pharaohs, would get home ice advantage, which means all 9 o'clock starts and all downstairs locker rooms, which is perfect. So we took a 1-0 lead in the first period. I played defense the whole game. I was even. I was on the ice for half of the goals, 1 on each side, as you'll see. 1-0. Second period, we gave up a goal to tie it, but a minute later we scored a goal to take a 2-1 lead. And then in the third, they scored a goal to tie it. And then in overtime, nothing happened, but man, it was close. So with that tie, it clinched home ice advantage for my team, so our game, which was next, did not matter. Then, as it turned out, the yellow team didn't have enough players anyway, and they had to forfeit, so we won that game anyway. So we won the division by 3 points. And our next game is Saturday night at 9 p.m. against Black, the second place team. It is the only 9 o'clock game for Black, and it is the only road game for Black, and it is against us. It's all very exciting. We had no subs last night, so we kind of got to see what it would be like in the playoffs. There's kind of an issue here. We picked up a couple of players in the last few weeks, and not that our team had a lot of chemistry to begin with, but the average player's ability dropped with the addition of the players. That's the way beginner leagues work. When it's right before playoffs, now you've got no chemistry, and you've got, we're at a bit of a disadvantage. We need all of our scorers to show up every week to have a chance to win. And otherwise, the burden falls on me. You missed it. Of course you did. There was a breakaway that I started. I had a breakaway. I knocked the puck away, and I skated after it, and someone else started skating, so I skated faster. Got to the puck, went all the way in, shot no good. But it was the first time I ever had a breakaway that I led and shot and did everything but score. But I can do that now. It's very exciting. The thing that's rewarding about hockey is you can see yourself getting better. So, at any rate, our goalie also is a bit of a concern for playoffs. He cannot use a goalie stick because he has a bad elbow. He has to use a regular stick. And there's a reason why goalies use goalie sticks, and that reason does not help us because he's not using that goalie stick. Now here's the thing, if he doesn't show up, we just may not have a goalie. So it's a known quantity with this guy, a known commodity with this guy, so maybe we should just take him, because if we tell him, why don't you go rest up, come back when your elbow's better in 3 months, then now we can have a playoff game with no goalie. That is worse. So he asks what we wanted, and everyone's always afraid. People are always afraid to hurt anyone's feelings, especially like in a beginner league, where we really shouldn't be that competitive, but this is all I got, man. I'm just not very good. So I was like, look, I told him what I just told you. And he's like, all right, I'll see you next week. I said, good. We like you as a person. We want you to be successful. We just don't want you to get hurt. So maybe I'm going to talk to my teammate Russ and say, why don't we play defense in the playoffs? Because you'll score on your breakaways, and I don't care about scoring, I want to win. And then we can let everyone else run the offense, and we can put extra care because we actually pay attention on defense. So we'll see what happens. As far as the actual game, they had all the subs, and they beat us 5-2. We fell behind 2-0 after 1, I believe. It was 3 or 4-0 after 2. We fell behind 5-0 in the third. We got 2 goals late to make it 5-2, and that was it. I was a -1 in that game. Oh, I forgot, in the first game, the tie, I got a hooking penalty in the third period when the score was tied. Luckily, about 40 seconds later, they committed, I don't know, roughing or something, and so then it was a 4-on-4. So that kind of saved the game, but I almost blew it. Not that it would have mattered because the second game was a forfeit, but, for White, the fourth place team, to get a point against the second place team by, having a tie, you know, that's good for their confidence. And White is another one of those teams where if the right people show up, they can be pretty intimidating in the playoffs. The teams are a lot more balanced than people realize. It's just certain teams have better records because their players show up all the time. The only reason that our team is the #1 seed is because half of our team always shows up to play in both games. So you want to be on the team with players with no life. And I know Russ will laugh if he sees this because I'm basically saying he has no life. And he has plenty of a life. You should see his girlfriend. She's pretty hot. But, you know, he thinks he doesn't have a life, so that's why he'll laugh. You're cool, Russ. It's fine, man. So, playoffs start next weekend. For the season, I had 6 goals, a career high. I don't remember how many assists. I got to look it up. But it was probably close to a career high, if not a career high. I definitely scored a lot more this year. That was season, that's for sure. But looking good for playoffs. And then drove home, went to bed, whoop-de-doo. It's still really hot. Today I'm doing lots of exciting things. Tomorrow's episode should be pretty good. So let's look forward to that. That's all the time we have for today. Visit us on the web at joelshitshow.com. Email joel@joelshitshow.com.